Alright, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and as part of the Rankin Technical College AWD, or Application and Website Development Program, and in particular the AWD 1111.NET Framework with Web Databases class for the fall 2019 semester, I'm creating a series of video presentations that correspond to our textbook for the class, which, as you can see on the screen, is ProASP.NET MVC 5. So far, I've done the first 12 chapters out of 27, skipping Chapter 13 for now, and we're in Chapter 14. And in Chapter 14, we're up to causing the Visual Studio Debugger to break. All right, an application that is running with a debugger attached will normally run normally until a break occurs, at which point the execution is halted. So, bottom line is this. When you run, I shouldn't even say that. When you have your application up on the screen like this, as an example, it is in one of three modes. Right now I'm in design mode or design view. All right. If I go in and I run the program from right here, and I'm not going to put anything special in it, but I just run it. Doesn't like something here. Not sure why it's giving me that problem, but cannot convert null to int because it is non-nullable. Okay. I said not sure why it's doing that, but let's try it again. Right mouse click, view in browser. That should come up. There's no reason that shouldn't run. And there we get it. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the run, and where we have this return view result, I'm going to click in this gray area right here that's known as the gutter. And that added what's called a breakpoint to my code. So I'm telling it to stop right there. All right. So again, I'm going to run. I'm going to right mouse click on my index.cs HTML file and choose view in browser. That's all fine. Okay. Looks like it ran, gave me the result, etc. Maybe I put it in there too late, but okay. Let's not even put it there. Let's put it in, let's try putting it right up there where it says, how about there? Okay. And let's run it again. A breakpoint, basically, I'm not sure why it's running through it like that, but a breakpoint typically, in fact, let's try doing it like this. I'm going to leave that there, but instead of doing what I was doing, and that is right mouse clicking and showing it, I'm going to run it. Notice it stopped right here now. It has stopped. And we got a lot of information here as well. We can tell that first val has been set to 10, second val has been set to 5, result is 0 because the program stopped right here. It broke. But the system is letting us know first val was 10, second val was 5, etc. Now let's go and I'm going to put another breakpoint on the next line right there. So now I'm going to tell it to continue its run. Now it stops again. But notice that now result is 2. It has done the calculation. And it's showing me that information in here. Put one more breakpoint in here and tell it to continue again. And it's stopping again. All right. When I one more time go in and continue, I should actually get my results, and you can see I do. So a breakpoint is an instruction that tells the debugger to halt execution of the application and hand control back to the programmer. As you saw, you can inspect different values in there. I showed you how to create a breakpoint. All right, and I showed you the effect of working with a breakpoint. Now, as mentioned on page 358 in the book, a breakpoint is triggered only when the statement it is associated with is executed. So, for instance, if I had an if-else statement and I had code after the else, then I put a breakpoint in there, but the else was never hit, the breakpoint would never be hit and fired. Once you have control of the application's execution, you can move to the next statement, follow the execution to other methods, do all sorts of different stuff. The most common use for breakpoints is to track down bugs. Before you can fix a bug, you got to figure out where it's happening and what the problem is. All right? All right, they show you an example on 359, but it's basically what I just did, where we set breakpoints on different lines. So I'm not going to, on 359 and 360, so I'm not going to bore you by running that again. All right. Viewing application state in debugger windows, although I've shown you this, let's look at it again anyway. All right. So we'll leave this breakpoint going and we'll get rid of this one. You turn them on the same way you turn them off. It's a toggle. All right, so let's run this again. Visual Studio provides a number of different windows that can be used to get different information. So if we look up on our screen right here, and I'm sure there's a way to make this bigger, but I don't know what it is offhand. All right. This is our locals window right here. This is our call stack window right here. So the system is letting us know the value of local variables at this time. And over here, it's telling us the call stack. In other words, what was called last, for lack of better words, kind of to get to this point. The call stack window shows you the sequence of calls that have led to the current statement being executed. This can be really important if you want to do what's called winding back on the call stack to see what called what, etc., to make sure things are working. You can also add breakpoints to your views. This can be helpful to inspect the values of view model properties, for example. All right. I'm going to tell it to continue. All right, we've got that back. I come back into my code, and for now at least, now all the breakpoints are gone. All right, 361, breaking on exceptions. Unhandled exceptions happen, period. One of the reasons that they happen, all right, is, they will occur in production. You'll make a mistake someplace. So they want us to put in something in here that's going to cause an error in our code. Simplest way to do that, come back in here, change second val to 0. Program's still running, so let's stop the run. Clicking up here. And let's set that to 0. Now you could tell it'll be an error. 10 divided by 0 is infinity. The system doesn't know how to handle that. In some programming languages, such as JavaScript, will handle that. It'll give you infinity. But here, notice when I do this, File, Save All, and I run the program, I'll get an error. Now, unless they've changed the name of it, this is called the exception assistant. And it's got information about the error. Notice view details. Attempt to divide by 0. Okay? And the error that was thrown, a system divide by 0 exception. Get the same information here and here as well. Okay? Sometimes you're going to get very obscure type of errors. All right? You're going to get an error and you'll have to look it up. While I was building the sample app, I probably got hundreds of errors. The best way, so if I want to know about this kind of error, the best thing to do is to highlight all of it. You know, Control C. I don't know if that'll even copy it or not, but go in here and put in, don't worry about that, I'm going to get rid of that anyway. But make sure to preface it with ASP.NET error, and then paste it in. Now the divide by 0, that wasn't that, you know, that error people get. So how do I get rid of this? I just click the red square up there and boom, it's gone. Go back and let's change it to 5 again. Now we'll be able to run the program. All right, we're at 11:50. I might be able to finish it in the time I've got allotted, but I've got about 5 or 6 more pages. So instead, I'm going to stop right here, pick it up on page 363, where the author talks about using edit and continue. So we'll come back to that momentarily.